are you doing?
Good. Oh my gosh, I love you're surrounded by lush plants.
Yes, you
So
told me to
good.
bring plants. I'm like, I've got them.
I love it. It's
Easy,
perfect.
done. Yes,
It's perfect. And I love your hair too.
thank you. That
I
was
don't
more
think I
fitting.
noticed it was pink when I ran into you a couple weeks
That's
ago.
because when I tie it up, you'll only see black.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so
That's all.
fun.
Yeah, more fairy-like, I think.
I love it. Yeah. So are you ready for some questions?
Sure, shoot.
Okay. All right. So I want to start with like what like tell me if somebody said like your elevator pitch, like they said like what do you do or like what's your business? Like how do you describe it to people?
Okay, in Detroit, I explain it this way. I grow rare tropical houseplants, not the other plant. Because everyone automatically assumes it's the other plant, which there's no problem. It's legal, but it's not what I grow. But
Right.
yes, so that's my elevator pitch.
Got it. Okay. And how did you get into that? How long have you been doing that?
I've been collecting plants for a long time. I used to live in Hong Kong, and it's a very tropical environment. And I always had plants, but I started selling plants, I would say not that long ago, maybe like a year and a half ago that I started
Okay.
selling plants. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you grew plants, did you like feel like you had a gift for it? Because I can't keep plants alive. But my dad is like a green thumb, just has like a knack. So are you just somebody who really like understands how to help them thrive and flourish?
I guess so. I guess it came naturally, but I'm also a very observant person.
Okay.
So like if I see something is not quite right, I can usually like catch like a bug or like any sort of problem quite early,
Okay.
and whatever the problem it is, I could reverse it very quickly.
Okay.
So I think that's very important, being very observant.
Okay.
Hmm.
What is there any difference in growing plants in Hong Kong versus in Michigan, or because you create
Yes.
your own controlled climate,
Um,
it's no different?
well, the humidity in Hong Kong is amazing. It's like amazing for plants. It's awful as a person. It's like 80 to 100% humidity all the time. But it's warm, it's humid, it's great for the plants. The only limitation there is space, because Hong Kong is a very crowded space. Believe it or not, I used to live in like 250 square feet.
And
That
half
is
of it was
tiny.
plants?
Yeah. Yeah, I had quite a few plants, every window ledge, basically. Here, of course, you have the dry winters, the cold winters, but since I'm growing everything indoors, um, these plants acclimate really easily to my clients, my customers' homes, because I grew them at home.
Okay.
Whereas most of the times when you buy tropical plants, they come from a big greenhouse, big like nursery in Florida, and they're used to being pampered, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have natural sunlight, they have these complicated misting systems that go on every 30 seconds. And me, like growing them at home when I first started, I didn't have all that. So my environment was basically the environment that my customers could expect. I would expect my customers to have as well. So they just kind of acclimated easily.
So I guess from somebody who knows nothing about plants, I never would have thought of that if a plant is acclimated from like a sapling or whatever, is that what you call it? A seedling.
Seedling, a baby. Yeah.
So, like growing it in the environment that it plans to have its end use in,
Hmm.
it like just makes, it doesn't have to adapt, right?
For sure,
And
for
I guess
sure.
I'd never thought about that. That's really
Yes,
interesting.
because a lot of these plants are naturally very humidity loving. So, for example, verrucosum, this is a South American plant, and it's used to 70-80% humidity. But when I grow them, I actually have one in my bedroom that's like, each leaf is like this big, and it's used to 30-40% humidity, and it's completely acclimated to Detroit, and it's still growing fine.
Wow. That's
Hmm.
so interesting,
Yeah,
especially in our very dry winters, for sure.
yeah, and a lot of times when you buy this particular plant actually from sellers that live in more tropical climates, it's really hard to adapt them to a dry home ambient humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then those people who buy those plants, they maybe tend to be harder to keep alive, or like maybe even die, or
I would say probably 50% of the people that buy this plant don't like have a plant like by the end of the month. I would
wow.
say. Yeah, they droop really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I take it that you probably have like a demand for your plants because they're easier to keep alive.
I don't think people actually realize that, but like people always say, "Oh, Jocelyn has like the best plants. Jocelyn has like really healthy plants." And I'm like, "Yes, because of these things, because I'm growing them and propagating them in an environment that is similar to yours."
Did you ever was that always part of the plan, or were you just like, "Oh, this is working really well," and I know why.
Yeah, I think that's what happened because I started from growing at home and it made sense to me. Like, and I started off as a collector, not really like I didn't buy plants with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to sell this plant later. I just bought because like I love them, and I realized that when I bought plants from Florida, like, they didn't arrive well, or they arrived in soil, and they were full of bugs. And I actually grow most of my plants in a soilless medium, so there's very few pests, if any, at all.
You said soilless medium.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hydroponic?
It's not,
Okay.
not necessarily. It could be like a semi-hydroponic. Hydroponic would just mean like it's only water.
Okay.
And you put like soluble nutrients in the water. I use you can look at this strawberry shake, everyone. It's not for sale, just in case. Someone saw it in a preview photo and they're like, I want it. Okay, this is my soilless medium. It's perlite, which is mineral, and sphagnum moss.
Okay.
So
it's something for the plant to sit in and for the roots to grow in, but it's not actually dirt.
Yes, it's not actually dirt, and it's there's a couple of reasons why I grow it in this medium. First, they grow really well, I found out. Second, no bugs. Third, it's compliant to like USDA requirements. Mm-hmm. So when I ship to states like California, Arizona, Texas, Florida, I meet all their requirements for pest control.
Okay, so that's a good segue to how did you decide I want to start growing them to sell them, and then what was the process of figuring out how to do that? Like I'm sure there's like so much you didn't even think about.
Yeah, so it's funny actually how I first started. I was collecting all these plants and I was buying so many plants every week. Sean, my husband, was like, you need to stop spending money on plants. And I told him, it's an investment. You watch me. And then that weekend, I sold a pink princess for a couple $100. And he was like, whoa, people actually buy this stuff? And since you don't
where did you sell
this
it?
is a pink
put it
princess.
on eBay or
I just put it on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace.
Like Facebook Marketplace. So it was a local purchase.
Mm-hmm. And,
okay.
That person picked it up like the following day after I posted it. So yeah, that's a pink princess right there.
It's gorgeous.
Thanks.
And where does that plant originate from?
So now this plant I don't think occurs naturally.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so I think it's a mutation that's been propagated, and they come mostly from Thailand these days. But I don't think that you can find this in the wild. But I might be wrong. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you sold your first plant on Facebook Marketplace, and what happened?
And then he's like, wait a minute, buy more plants now. You've made some money, now buy more. And I'm like, yes! And I just took with it and ran.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so did you just start with Facebook Marketplace? Did you figure out how can I sell these like to other states? What was the progression?
Yeah, I did. So I did start selling on Marketplace, and then about like a couple months I was selling not these super rare exotic ones. I was selling more basic ones and cuttings and all that. People would buy cuttings because, a leaf cutting or something, because it's like a cheaper entry point to get that plant. And then
But then they have to be responsible for
they do
growing it.
Yes, and very soon I realized it's just not worth selling it that way because one, like these are my babies and I took time and it took a lot of time and effort to grow them, and to hand a cutting off to a beginner to later off kill and then blame me for it, it was just not worth it.
Right.
And then I might as well just grow them myself and then sell like established plants. I already forgot your question.
Oh, just how did you get from like selling one plant on Facebook Marketplace to, what was the progression of your business?
Yeah, so I just started selling, and then soon I realized that, wait, I should be doing this at a larger scale because it doesn't make sense to just sell one, because since I'm not selling cuttings, it takes time to grow. So I kind of need to think like, I guess like a farmer. You have to grow your crops. Like I can harvest them every week, every month or something like that. So I would need a lot more inventory, a lot more variety. Because if you already have, say, a strawberry shake, chances are you might not buy a second one, right? You might want a different one. And you have to keep up with the market and keep up with the demand. And then once you have so many plants, you just have to expand. So
yeah. So where do you ship to? Have you shipped to every state?
I have shipped to every state except Delaware. Delaware.
Okay. What's up with Delaware?
I don't know what's up with you.
Delaware, we're coming for you.
I know. I shipped to Alaska. I shipped to Hawaii. I've shipped once to Guam and a couple times to Puerto Rico.
What is involved in packing and shipping a plant?
So first you have to protect the roots, and winter packing is really different from like summer packing. Winter packing is like a completely different animal because our winters are so harsh here. I have to make sure that they don't freeze. So I have to make sure that, sorry, do you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
It's my humidifier going. It sounds like a steam room here most of the time. I think my husband will be turning it off too. Yeah, he got it. So first you have to protect the roots. Since most of my plants are grown in soilless medium, I don't have to repot it or uproot it. That's what most sellers have to do. They have to uproot the plant and then wrap the roots in like tissue paper or something.
Is that
it is.
Okay.
Yes, it takes a little bit longer for the plant to acclimate. So I could just ship it like this.
Okay.
And then I protect the leaves, kind of fold them up and then wrap it in a bundle and then tape the whole bundle into the box.
Okay.
And if it's winter, I have to add insulation and heat packs and all that.
Okay. Do you find that you have a preference like with shipping companies, like certain ones handle your product better than others?
Yeah, so right now I only ship UPS because USPS is just a mess. Like I really tried to support them for as long as I could. But up until like since COVID, they've just been a mess, and I made the switch in December. So now I only ship UPS 2-day or quicker.
Okay. Just to limit the amount of time it's out on a truck or exposed to the elements.
Yeah, well, mostly they're more reliable. They're hardly ever late. So yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, and their prices are pretty much, yeah, people don't like USPS as you see the comments.
Yeah. And then did you have to learn about the various, like you were talking about like California and Florida, like the requirements for sending probably like plants? Like there's
a
rules?
website. Yeah, there's a website with like a very long PDF for each state. It's a very boring read. So all states have their own requirements.
Okay.
For shipping to the west and the south is more difficult. And you'll need nursery licenses and inspection certificates and all that.
Do you have to have your facility inspected?
I'm already a licensed nursery.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have come to inspect my plants. I didn't start sending any plant across the state, the country until I got that certificate, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I wanted to be totally legit.
do you need the nursery certificate to send through the US as well?
Depends on the state.
Okay.
You can send like a friend a plant,
Hmm.
uh, if you're sending it somewhere to like New York or something. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. But technically, if you're selling plants, you have to have a license.
Right. And if you start doing it a lot, they might start
Yeah,
wondering what's
yeah,
going on.
exactly. Mhm.
And so when did you start selling out of the country?
Out of the country, no, I've got a lot of requests to do so, but I
Okay.
have not yet. Like,
Okay.
since COVID is just so complicated,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to deal with it. I do plan on shipping plants to Canada as soon as the border opens.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I have a lot of cool things planned. Yeah, and I'm hoping to bring a lot of rare plants to Canada. We're very close, in
Yeah.
case they're
Well, I mean, you have connections there too, right?
exactly. I'm Canadian, by the way. Yeah.
That's right. So, um, so what was your setup like when you were working out of your home?
Oh
Your
man.
what, like
I
1,500
never, I
square foot
never,
condo?
I never showed my setup.
And
I
how
was
did
like,
Sean feel
you
about
don't want to see.
it?
Sean was like, we live in a plant shop. We gotta get you a proper space. It's very popular to modify these IKEA glass cabinets, the Millsbo cabinets and stuff, into greenhouse cabinets. And that's what I did. I have a couple of greenhouse cabinets.
Okay.
And I have my, well, basically I turned my second bedroom, my spare bedroom, into a plant lab slash plant nursery.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
most
And
of
so
my
then,
plants grow there.
and so you recently now have, a space outside of your
Yes,
home. So the
I'm
second
so
bedroom can
excited.
be reclaimed. Um,
Sooner or later.
Oh, and it's like kind of a warehouse kind of space.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like lots of windows, like high ceilings.
Yep.
Have you filled it up
Brick
yet?
wall. We're there
Yeah.
right now. We have not filled it up. Actually, I still have like a bunch of plants at home. We just put in the humidifier unit yesterday, and we still need to get all the shelving done and all the grow lights in, and then I'll bring all the plants and fill it up.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. And how many square feet do you have?
I think it's just under 2,500, I think.
Okay, so that's
And
huge,
it
and
is
you've got
huge.
vertical, options as well.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes. This
guessing
is,
ceilings are like 20 feet or something,
I
maybe.
think it's 14, 15 feet.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so really.
Yeah, it's nice. So, you haven't been here yet, but half of this space is going to be like grow space.
Uh-huh.
And then the other half, the front half, is going to be a shop.
So
There,
that was gonna be my next question. So you have a retail component.
yes, but
Okay.
I won't keep like, I don't think I'd be keeping regular shop hours. It'll be like by appointment.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not
Okay.
necessarily the kind of area where you're gonna like just walk in off the street
Yeah,
randomly.
no. And these are not plants that I would expect any walk-in customers to buy. I think they mostly get sticker shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Like, what is the range of pricing for plants?
Oh man, like I do have plants that I guess maybe it's from like $50, but mostly they're above 100, I'd
Above
say.
100?
Like
Okay.
this one right here, the strawberry shake that everyone wants is like about 1,000, I think.
Okay. And what makes it so costly? Is it just more rare? Is it hard to have ones that are like thriving and alive?
Um, no, it's actually quite an easy plant. It's just very high in demand.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because it comes out pink and then fades to a cream. Yeah, so that's why I guess it's called strawberry shake.
And they're just harder to get? Like not as many people have them? Supply and demand sort of thing?
It's a supply demand, and it's an international market. I mean,
Okay.
even in Thailand, they're selling these for $400 a leaf.
Okay.
They're priced by the leaf most of
Okay.
the time. Yeah.
Interesting. So if you wanted to make more, could you take cuttings of that one? Is that how
Yeah.
you grow them?
Yep. Yep, for sure.
Okay.
This is a top cutting that I took
Okay.
about a month or two ago, and I already grew this new leaf.
Okay. Very cool. What kind of so you talked about the humidifier,
Yeah.
what else do you have in there?
RO system, like a water filtration system.
Okay.
The water in the building is not very great, and
Okay.
because of the volume of the plants I have, and the volume of water I need, I just need like a lot of clean water. Because usually
And
you're
what do you
more,
mean by clean water? Like,
yeah, I was just about to get to that. Like you don't want chlorine, and
okay.
usually you can get chlorine out by just like letting a bucket sit out,
Mm-hmm.
for overnight. But if I need like, 20 gallons a day, I can't have 20 gallons of buckets, 20 buckets sitting
Right.
around, right? So I have to strip the water of chemicals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would have to add, say, calcium and magnesium back because the plants need those and other fertilizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I I love how much I'm learning. I just like never I just never would have thought about it. Maybe that's why I can't keep plants alive because
And some varieties are hard to keep. I mean, even like the supermarket varieties, like sometimes they sell them as like beginner plants, but they're not really.
Mhm.
Like I see a lot of beginners buy calathea, and they're almost impossible to keep alive without like very clean water and high humidity. And if it's your first plant, how would you know?
Right,
Yeah, and
exactly.
usually people kill those.
Yeah. How
Hmm.
many plants do you have in your space right now?
Oh, definitely over 1,000, maybe edging to 2,000, because I grow the like small ones.
Mhm.
I grow them from tissue culture, and then like I have like a whole tray of them.
What do you mean you grow them from tissue culture? What does that mean?
Oh, that means like you take the um, a part of the plant and you multiply the cells, like the stem cell of the plant, and then you grow a new plant from those cells.
Okay. So you just have to basically put the stem cell in a medium with nutrients
Basically, yes.
to
But
multiply.
it has to be like sterile and clean.
Okay. Do you need special equipment for that?
Uh, Not really equipment, but the know-how.
Okay.
I used to study botany, so
I was
that
going
kind of
to ask
helped.
if you had a background that was
Yeah,
related.
I have a degree in biology. Half of it was about animals, the other half was about plants. I was a big nerd. Every elective I took was about the sciences. So, yeah, I guess I didn't think was like that related because when you study botany, it has nothing to do with horticulture. You don't learn about like the variance of within a gene within a species. You look at either very big things like in taxonomy, like you look at like genus, order, whatever, or you look at like small microscopic detail, like down to the electron. Like I studied photosynthesis down to the electron. Where did this electron move? There it went. Like it was like so small that it wasn't applicable to any of this. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe it just gave you like more of an intuition
Oh, for
about,
sure. I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so what is your, like, I think you mentioned earlier the idea of like doing this on a bigger scale
Hmm.
allowed you to kind of like almost work like a farmer, right?
Yeah.
Like you have like state. So what is your typical like cycles like? Do you do certain things on certain days of the week? Like I know you said like
Hmm.
Mondays you pack stuff to
Yeah.
ship, you know? So can
Yeah.
you talk about, the cycles either weekly or, monthly that kind of you work with to get that like sort of like assembly line
Yeah,
scale a little
sure.
bit?
So everyone knows that I only sell on Fridays at
Okay.
7 p.m. Eastern. I
At a,
post
you said Fridays at 11 p.m.
7 at
7
7
p.m.
p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
I sell at a particular time. I just drop like 30 to 50 plants, and then people like click on the links and purchase them through my Facebook page.
Okay.
So that's Friday.
So you have people that are just like waiting, like
Yeah, there are people that set alarms.
6:59. They're like, I'm ready.
Yeah, there are people that are unbelievably fast. Like my page hasn't like refreshed, and I already see that, this person already purchased it. I'm like, how are you this fast? Yeah. But Fridays, in the mornings, I take pictures of the listings, and then I list them and handle, custom requests afterwards, because there's going to be a certain number of people that need to change their address or want to combine shipping for a couple of plants. Then I have to like be by my computer for an hour after the restock. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I usually coordinate pickups, local pickups. So I wait around and people come pick up their plant, that kind of thing. And then in between, I'm probably propagating the plants.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Monday I have to ship. It's like my most hated day. I hate shipping. It was so boring. I have to stand alone and like pack it. And I pack very carefully, so it takes a lot of time. And then at about 5 o'clock on Monday, I drive to UPS and drop a lot of boxes. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is when I water and inspect the plants. So inspect them for bugs, root rot, all that kind of thing. Like make sure everything's okay. Since I have so many plants, it does take me 2 days to go through everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Thursdays, usually Thursdays, I open up new shipments. So it could be shipments that are coming from, honestly, all around the world. Like I import from Europe, from like Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, India, Japan.
Are you talking plants or plant supplies?
Plants.
Okay.
So I import the plants because I'm always bringing new varieties in.
Okay.
And sometimes I just can't grow them fast enough, and I have to import them and acclimate them, and I choose to either sell them when they're acclimated, or keep propagating them, and then sell the propagated plantlets.
Okay.
So,
and how long does it take from the seedling to the size where it's ready to ship or sell?
So I guess my most popular plant is the Thai Constellation, Monstera, and I usually sell them. I grow them from tissue culture. I usually sell them when their leaf size is about this. Like this is the minimum. Sometimes I sell them when they're this size. From the moment they are ready to come out of a sterile condition to get to this leaf, it takes about 3 months.
Okay.
From a cell to this leaf probably takes 6 to 7 months if there is no contamination issues. And then I think this one probably grew from, it's been growing out of the bottle, out of the sterile conditions since September, I want to say. September or October.
So that explains why you have to have 1,000 plants and more, because most of them aren't even going to be ready to sell.
Yeah, and let's be honest, some of them are going to die. Like they're not all going to live. There's a percentage. I get a good yield, but still, like at least 10% of them are going to die. For this variety, and that's already pretty good. For some new varieties that I bring in, like sometimes half of them die, or sometimes 90% of them die, because they've just never been brought into the U.S. before, and they don't ship well, and no one would know unless you try.
Right. I actually heard that I think it was Thomas Edison that like brought the palm tree to Florida.
Oh, really?
And it died the first time he tried to acclimate it from like the tropics or something. So he had to try it again.
Yes, it's not easy. Yeah, but that's how you bring in new varieties, right? Like no one wants to see the same plants, sold every day. Especially if you're a collector, you want to see new varieties.
So that one you just shared with us, what makes that the most popular? Why do you think people like that the most?
It's a very showy plant. I actually don't have a big Thai constellation right here, but this is a Monstera. See this one back here?
Yep.
It's like, it has like these big fenestrated leaves.
Uh-huh.
This one is the white variegated Monstera. This is very popular, but it's even more expensive than the Thai Constellation. What makes it popular? I don't know. It's like, I don't know, what makes pink hair the trend? You know, like
I guess maybe a combination
influencers,
of
maybe?
just maybe a combination of like the look and then also the price. Maybe it's just like more
Yeah.
accessible plant.
So it's like it's my favorite plant, I think, the Monstera, the variegated Monstera. So you see the regular one, the green one, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they sell them at Lowe's and Home Depot. But the green one is not as nice as the variegated one, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So the white is just a mutation.
Okay.
It's caused by lack of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes this part green.
Mm-hmm.
And then this part has no chlorophyll at all. So chlorophyll makes energy for the plant. So this plant needs a lot more light than a regular green one. Yeah. And I guess they're popular because you just never know what you're going to get. Like every single leaf that pops up is different from the previous.
So we had somebody who wanted to know, what is your favorite plant? And do you have one you can show us?
I think my favorite one is back here, the giant Alba Monstera. My second favorite is this Florida Beauty.
What's that one called?
It's called a Florida Beauty, Philodendron Florida Beauty.
I thought you were just like,
no, it's
Florida,
actually
it's a beauty.
No, it's part of the Philodendron genus, and this one's called the Florida Beauty.
Okay.
There is a plain green one as well, and everyone likes things variegated nowadays. This
and
one
variegated just means the different color variation?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
The color mutation is what we call variegation.
Okay.
And
yeah. People, it's just like it's trendy. It's the pink hair of plants now or something?
It's just unique. They're more rare than the green version. They were definitely like a plant that, makes your heart stop, I think.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It comes out, at first it comes out light green, then it fades to like a cream, like a yellowish, and then finally a cream.
What does it take to create a plant, like to create a mutation? Is it accidental, or do people like?
That's a very good question. It's accidental. It's nature mostly. Most of them are naturally occurring, and you just have to be able to be talented enough to propagate that in quantities where you can, offer to the market, I guess.
So that is also part of one of your superpowers, is propagating, like.
I'm trying to get there, but that's a whole new level. You have to actually, by chance, find something that is variegated in a way that no one's ever seen before.
Okay.
This is funny. Me and my friends just started a Facebook group called Monstera Sports.
Called what?
Monstera Sports.
Okay.
So a sport mutation is a mutation that is like that comes unexpectedly, I guess. And there are so many different sport Monsteras, like this is the Monstera, that come out in different colors. And we just wanted to share and kind of see what's out there. And there are people that go sport hunting in Lowe's or Home Depot to go through their racks and racks of regular Monstera to see if they can find a special one.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's like people who like sell vintage clothing go into like garage sales to find, like the vintage Chanel or something,
Oh, it's a thing. There's like a Facebook group of like Home Depot hunters or something.
Oh my goodness. You're opening me up to like a whole world that I had no idea existed.
Yeah. For example, actually I have a seed sport right here. This is what we call a seed sport Monstera, a variegated Monstera. So what it means is it grew from a batch of like green seedlings. This one had like a random yellow mutation. So that's what a seed sport means.
Okay.
And it's
so
golden.
Then you could then propagate from that plant to make more of those?
You could.
Okay.
You could.
Okay. We have some people in the comments that are talking about the difference between a stable and a regular variegation. So it's a lot of heads.
Sport just means it occurred randomly. It could be stable. It could not be stable. You can, if it happened to be variegated on the stem, then it's possible to encourage more variegation. But that's like a complicated topic. I mean, it's a lengthy topic that like half the people aren't interested in. But if you're interested in Monstera sports, you can join the new Facebook group called Monstera Sports.
Somebody else wanted to know about, you've been having more rare Hoyas, and can they expect more Hoyas or stick to aeroids? Sounds like I'm speaking French.
Aeroids are all these plants you see here, like the Monstera, Philodendron, Anthuriums, they're all aeroids. I will have more Hoya. Actually, I have a few hundred Hoya right in front of me, so you can expect more. I have some no IDs and gray ghost. A lot of people are looking for that. Yeah, you can expect a lot of Hoyas.
So is that just the difference between, like, if we're talking about the plant, like different lines of like plants, like those are one family aeroids and another family is Hoyas?
I think aeroids, oh gosh. Aeroids is like a group of plants that have different species, a different genus. So Philodendron is a whole genus. Monstera is a whole genus. And these are all belong to aeroids. And then Hoya is like its own like separate species.
Okay. I'll have to look it up. I'm assuming with just different characteristics and things like that.
No, they grow completely different. I don't have one that's very close. Like they're in boxes right now. So yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of like they have like really thick leaves. Do you want me to grab one?
I would love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now that you're talking about it, I got to see what one of these look like.
Alrighty. Let's see. Can you still hear me from here?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
So Jocelyn is getting a Hoya to show us.
Yeah, but since I'm getting up, I want to grab a cool one.
Get the coolest one.
It's like the second you want to see a plant, you don't know where they are.
Where is a plant when you need one?
So these two are Hoya. This is the gray ghost that everyone seems to want these days.
Okay.
I don't know as much about Hoyas as I do about aeroids. It's just kind of getting into Hoya. And I've been getting the ones that I personally like, which are, the silvery splashy types.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see these leaves are very thick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. There you go.
They're beautiful. Do they grow differently? Do they require different care?
Yeah, I think each Hoya is different too. Like within the Hoya species, like each Hoya is different. Like some of them need more humidity, some of them need more water. Yeah, there's just a lot more to learn, I think, about Hoya. But they think they're quite easy to grow. They seem to root easily.
So let's see. What is the one that you showed us at the beginning? Is that the most rare one that you have?
I don't know. The most rare one, I don't even know what that even means anymore. Because honestly, if you can like pay someone to buy a plant that day, it's not that rare.
Right.
It's just probably inaccessible due to the high demand and the price point. I would say this one is quite rare. This one's the Philodendron Red Moon.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Yes. So the leaves come out like this bright, like highlighter neon yellow, and they kind of harden to green.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are they at all times, like as new ones are growing, you have sort of like accent leaves and then they turn green?
You just don't know. Like some, yeah, I guess so. And then some of them, like when they turn all red, that's when you have to chop the top because like it's not going to grow anymore. This part is the part where it doesn't have any chlorophyll, and it would stunt the plant if you don't cut it.
It's like taking too many nutrients away from the plant at that
Pretty
point.
much. They're just kind of dead weight at that
Yeah.
point. So that I would say is a rare plant. This one is a rare plant these days. Let's see. This one.
That looks like another philodendron.
It is. You're getting good at this.
Well, you know how I know? Because when I was in middle school biology, we had to adopt a plant in the biology room and keep it alive for the semester. And I got one of those big philodendrons. It was like growing basically in like a giant garbage can.
Yeah, someone guessed it. It was a caramel marble. You can see the new leaf comes out like this.
Gorgeous.
Like caramel, and then it kind of fades. Like
you said it's called caramel marble?
Yes, because it's like marbly and caramel colored.
Uh-huh.
I guess there is a green version as well.
Okay.
That one's just called is it the Pluto? I think so. But yeah, this is a rare plant.
Are we going to be naming a plant the Jocelyn?
I don't know. I hope not. Who knows? Maybe you can I would really love to cross a new hybrid. That would be so much fun. Right now, this giant, you can't even see it. It's a giant Melanochrysum. She's blooming right now. You can see the flower right there.
Yeah. Like sort of yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be collecting pollen from that, and hopefully I can make some interesting crosses.
So cool. That was going to be one of my questions. Like, do you have a lab going?
It's just kind of like, let's mix this and this and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah. So
a lot of how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, actually I have some crosses here. You can see this is called a majestic.
Okay.
This is a mix of this plant, the Verrucosum, and the Sodiroy. So
okay.
You can see it has like the characteristics of both parents.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty cool. It has the leaf shape of the Sodiroy, but the coloring of the Verrucosum.
Okay.
Kind of.
And is that a common hybrid, or is that something that you...
This is one of the harder to find hybrids, I think.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorite.
And did you make that hybrid, or you
I did not. I did
Okay.
not. Once a hybrid is like available to the market, it doesn't make sense to cross them by seed, like make seeds anymore. It's much easier to make cuttings and grow them from cuttings.
Okay. That makes sense.
There are people that make new hybrids no one's ever seen. I have a couple that are not like released to the market, but I can't name them yet because I'm bound to secrecy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I work with some like hybridizers, some famous ones, and they sent me some special plants that I have growing at home. I can't even bring them to the shop in case someone sees them and ask me what it is.
And you have to make sure nobody follows you to your car and everything.
No, they wouldn't even know which one's the special one. Yeah, so some of them I have to wait for the creator to want to release to the public before I even show anyone.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Jocelyn is actually like a perfect name for a plant, so that's my vote.
All right. I'll work on it.
So Rare Plant Fairy, where did the name come from? I mean, obviously it's kind of says what it is, but where did the inspiration for the name come from?
Well, actually the truth is it's actually kind of it's a long story in a way, because from very early on I realized that like my name, Jocelyn Ho, and like being an Asian female, it was a lot more difficult for me to sell plants.
Okay.
And so I realized very early on that I would need an alias or a pseudonym to sell under. And it turned out to be true.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So who has the market on plant sales? Like who are the people that are selling?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I don't know. I think everyone has all the big name sellers have their own specialty, I think. So Like I sell some Anthuriums and some Hoya, but I would never claim that to be like my plant. Like
Mm-hmm.
my plant is probably the Thai Constellation Monstera because I think I'm probably one of the people that can offer this like constantly, almost on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, more so than any other seller. Uh, a lot of other sellers specialize in Anthuriums, which I don't have very many, but I can show you one special one that I really like. This one.
Oh, that's
Pretty cool,
beautiful.
huh? Yeah, this
Yeah,
leaf is
it's like
ugly.
crinkled. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the luxurians. So Anthuriums mostly have these like heart-shaped leaves and like deep veining. I love them. They're really cute. And I have this black crystal.
Are
Dark
people
crystal.
freaking out right now? Is that?
No, it's not. It's not a freak out. This is more an accessible plant. I think it's I start selling these at 125, 135, something like that. So it's not too bad. Oh, but I have this one. This one I love. I was actually kind of afraid to bring this over, but I really wanted to show you.
So, and why were you afraid to bring it over? Just because you didn't want to transport
Okay,
it?
this guy is called the Queen Anthurium,
Okay.
and she really lives up to the name. Like sometimes she'll drop all her leaves if you move her.
Like super high maintenance, basically.
High maintenance. She's the diva of divas. Yeah. So
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
yeah, I was very worried,
So,
but like she's gorgeous, and I
so
have to share
pretty.
her.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. So I'm really glad that you did.
yeah.
Um, so how many, like, of the people who are doing what you do, like, how many of them are like sort of like a boutique, or is the majority like kind of like giant like grow houses and things like that? Is that more common, like to have like more of a factory kind of thing?
I think since COVID, like all these plant shops started popping out everywhere. Most
Mm-hmm.
people sell online, and most people don't have a physical location. I think
Okay.
most sellers are sellers that, like how I started, grow from home and sell their propagations here and there. Uh, there are a lot of big growers down in Florida, but for these rare ones, I can tell you none of them actually propagate. They all just import and
Okay.
acclimate. Yeah. So I am one of the few that actually grow them. Like I import them as well, but I grow half of them, if not more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the big nurseries down in Florida, they get their plants from like by the thousands from Thailand. Yeah, and
And
they
so
acclimate them
it's
there.
more of a numbers game for them. Like
It is. They're
you're
playing with
probably losing like
quantities.
20 to 30% of their plants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because of how many they can sell. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
selling at wholesale, like by the batch. Like minimum orders of like 10,000 or something like that.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the people, I mean, I'm guessing you have kind of like somebody who's just looking for a plant and maybe it hasn't become an obsession for them yet. Maybe don't know the reputation of certain companies, right?
Mhm.
And I'm guessing you've really kind of built more of a reputation for yourself as somebody
I
who's
did.
quality, like resilient plants that are thriving.
Yes, it took a while, but it was worth it. Like just to make sure that all my plants are healthy before I send them out. I think people really appreciate that. It really wasn't. Yes, I could have like just cut everything up and sell for them for a lot of money without acclimating them. But I think sooner or later people will catch on. So it's not worth like ruining my reputation that way.
Right.
Yeah. So in the beginning it was slow. I had to take time to grow these plants. Like I'm showing you all these like very rare plants, but like most of these I don't have them like sold regularly. Like this one is a
So,
variegated Andersonii. I've never sold one, I think, but I have a lot like growing because quality control and all that. Make sure they're all healthy before I start selling these. These are a couple $1,000s per little plant.
okay.
Yeah.
So how long or how many do you have to grow before you think, okay, I'm good with these. This is good stock. I'm going to put them on the market. Like how long
That
does it
is
take for you to do that?
that is a very good question. And usually from the big growers in Thailand, only start selling their stock when they reach 100 mother plants. So you
Okay.
need like 100 of the same kind before you can sell. But I don't really wait that long. Maybe when I have like, I think 20 to 30 at least, then I can sell like 10%. Then I hold back again, and then I start growing them, and then I kind of have a balance there because I don't have like, I guess I don't have the capital to just hold like 100 plants, 100 of each variety before I sell them.
Right.
So right now I'm still kind of selling a little bit, holding back, growing, and maybe sell a different variety, and then do the same. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
I can't wait to see the space like all filled up to the
Yes,
up the
yes.
walls and every square inch. I'm
Yes,
sure it's
this
gonna
is
be
going to be a living wall. I'm gonna wait till like the grow area is all done, and then I'll turn this into the living wall. I'm sitting in the shop area right now, so hopefully,
okay.
yeah, it'll be a nice display for everyone that comes in.
Do you always sell out every Friday?
Um, no, no, it depends on the variety. Thai constellations go within the first 3 seconds. 3 seconds, like people are that quick.
Okay.
I usually for the varieties that are not as like crazy like not as sought after, I try to sell like 90% of the plants because if I sell 100% of the plants, maybe I didn't list enough, right? So I try to hit that like 90% mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you let people know in advance what you're going to be posting on Friday, or is it
Yeah.
just a surprise?
No, I don't do that to people. On Thursdays, I usually have a list, like a
Okay.
rundown of like the main things I'm going to offer. And then, so people have an idea what to expect.
Well, they
And
also know that they need to be waiting
yeah,
at 7
yeah.
to
So yeah,
pounce.
yes, I set like a Instagram timer, and a lot of people set the
Yeah.
timer,
Cancel the
the
plans.
reminder.
We're sitting in front of the computer.
It depends on the type. If I have Thai Constellation Monsteras that week, people will go nuts. And then on Fridays, I this is what I do. I take pictures of every plant and all the prices I post on my Facebook post, so people can see all the prices, the plant description, all the pictures, the main picture, and every like detailed shot of the plant. So I take a picture of me holding it straight up so people can see kind of the relative size, and then I take a picture of the main leaves, the new growth because that's important. And if it's growing in a clear pot, I take a picture of the roots so people know that it's established. And people can like study each plant to see which one they want, like without they usually have a few hours to kind of look through the photos and look through the prices to decide which ones they want.
Okay.
And then at 7, I post links for
Okay.
each plant
Okay.
so people can purchase.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that system evolve over time? Like, was it trial and error to figure out what would be the
It,
easiest?
So when I first started out, I was just like, I just had a like really small following of like 50 people, and I just wanted to. I didn't want to spend money on a website. I was like, well, no one's gonna buy from this random rareplantfairy.com website if I don't have like a reputation. So I just started off like selling via Facebook, and then gradually I realized, hey, this actually works in my favor because as more people come to my page and click and like and comment on the post, I'm actually making use of Facebook's algorithms to generate a bigger following
Yeah.
and more traction on that post. So I have never spent a dime on marketing.
I love that.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have on your Facebook page?
I think just over 9,000 right now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's fun. Thanks,
Oh my
guys.
gosh. Well, I love your passion. It's so fun to talk to you. I think this has probably been like my favorite conversation so far, just because it's so lively, but also like there's a visual component to it.
Yes.
It's really fun. You obviously have fans on here, people that love what you do. So I really appreciate you coming on and taking some time. So if people are on here and don't know where to find you, what is the best way to, find you online and see what you do?
Well, online, you can find me at Rare Plant Fairy on Instagram or on Facebook. And when the shop's ready, you guys can come in and hopefully I'll see you then in person.
That's
It's so
cool.
much fun to meet people in person.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to check it out. So
Yes.
That's right here, Detroit grown plants shipped all over the U.S.
Yes.
And Delaware is next.
I know. Someone from Delaware, please buy a plant.
If anybody knows anybody in Delaware, send them a plant, please.
I know. I shipped over 1,000 plants. I don't know why. What's up with Delaware? And if somehow you are from Delaware and I missed you, you let me know. Then I can check that box and see. Then I can say I've shipped to all states.
All 50 states.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks so much to everybody for joining us. You all have a good night, and we'll be trolling your not trolling, but stalking your Facebook and Instagram from here on out. And special hi to Jen, who just popped in. She said she's going to try to get on here.
Jen found me the space, by the way.
Yes, Jen found the space. So good that you can now expand and grow and thrive and have gotten out of your spare bedroom. So
yes, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.